I'm Mariah Renee. This is Mariah Manifest. Welcome back to another episode of the Solitude series. So, actually, this week I have had sort of an active week, to be honest. I had therapy on Monday. My therapist, it is really interesting. I feel like definitely like serendipitous things happen with my therapist. She has very interesting timing, like things that she says. And I ended up reaching out to a friend who I hadn't talked with in like some time. And honestly, even in talking, I hadn't really filled in with my life since like March. She also took a month and sort of backed away from talking to everyone, which I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense because like I had noticed that I hadn't heard from her, but I was also sort of doing the same thing where it's like I'm just taking a step back. So as we were talking about it, like I definitely reaffirmed for myself that I felt like I am doing the right thing. And as I was thinking about it, I knew that the Reflecting Pond had a chapter that talked about aloneness. So I thought it would be fun to read a couple pages to kind of pivot us onto the few things that I've learned about myself. As always, take what you need, leave what you don't. So this is from chapter 6, Aloneness and Quality Time. Before we can make any real progress, we must accept the essential fact of our aloneness. Accepting our aloneness means taking full responsibility for our actions, attitudes, and neglects. We do not lean too heavily on others for our salvation or sense of purpose. We look inside ourselves for answers, alternatives, and right decisions. We regard others as mirrors in our journey toward self-discovery. We do not regard another as the final authority in our lives. Recognizing our aloneness frees us from unhealthy dependence on any one person or thing for our sense of well-being. Our human relationships are put in their proper perspective. We no longer function from a position of dire need. Rather, we function from a healthy desire to share our unique insights and experiences with others without any expectation of return. Embracing our aloneness enables us to experience the fullness of life. Circumstances and relationships become gifts of enlightenment. Pain and joy become opportunities to learn more about ourselves and our interactions with life. Scientific discoveries become tools for understanding our inner selves, as well as the laws which govern our natures and the universe. Paradoxically, the more we accept our aloneness, the more we realize we are not alone. We begin to recognize our unity with all living things. Just as nature, for example, has its own seasons and changes, so do we. Just as the sun warms us, so does a friend's smile. Just as the rain refreshes the earth, so do our own tears refresh our spirits. Far from isolating us from life, embracing our aloneness motivates us to invest and share ourselves with all living things. We began to see our similarities with all creation. We become one with the universe. Today, I will embrace my aloneness. I will invest myself in others and in my environment, and I will discover my similarities with all creation. I think the second one really hits with me right now. I've been really moved by the nature around me. I've talked about it briefly before, probably won't ever get into the specifics of it, but back in March, I blocked 3 people who were really close to my life, but locational proximity and distance and solitude made me realize that I wasn't in community with those people. I was observing their community, and I think that's really lovely. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have had view of community, but I wasn't in their community. The way that I was experiencing myself within the environment. I've shared in a video where I'm being a little sassy, but my husband and I feed the community cats. We've gone through the process of TNRing all that we have in our little group. Before they were TNR'd, we had gone through a few rounds of kittens. Watching cats, cats. I'm the cat lady, okay? Watching my cat raise her kittens was the most healing, soul cleansing, humbling experience of my life. I will never forget it. I am so thankful to have like seen it. I saw her giving birth, like birth and child rearing, very beautiful process to see when done safely and with support. My cats have been TNR'd for quite some years at this point, so that happened a while ago. But for Christmas, I got a bird feeder. And watching the birds, watching the cardinals come as pairs, watching how they move together and systematically, and watching how one will lead and the next will follow, how they call for one another, how they wait for one another. Beautiful, soul cleansing, tear inducing some days. When I see, just as the reading mentioned, like the way that nature moves under law and so justly and so to order, I'm so humbled to observe, because I know that as people, and whatever your theological beliefs are, there's something about people that does not move to the order of nature, and yet it is within our nature to deviate from other nature as humans, you know? And I felt that deviation of, I feel so connected when I observe nature in a way that I did not feel connected to these three people once I was only observing them. I didn't see my lifestyle reflected in them. I didn't see my motives reflected in them. I didn't see similar thoughts necessarily reflected in them. And that's not to say that I think these people are bad people or to suggest that I don't like them as people. It was just that I didn't see myself in what I was observing. My friend learned that she needs to be around her community, and I guess I learned the same. I learned that my community is just a little bit smaller. I learned that, just as the passage said, like the more I sit on the back porch and I'm with the birds and I'm with the trees and I'm with my plants and I'm with co-host and I'm with myself, I do feel alone less and less and less, because I feel so surrounded within my own energy and within the energy just in my backyard. It's not to say that I don't miss my friends, especially this week. I've missed my friends a lot. I wish them the best. I think of them and I'm like, I wish you well. I wish you well. Peace be with you, girl. Like, I hope that you're doing okay right now. Times are really difficult, things are really hard, and I think that the people who you are in community with deserve probably a little bit more than you think you have, just because of how hard times are for everyone. And I think we should all be giving a little bit extra and harder to our communities. And so I think it's okay to be discerning of who is in your community right now because of how hard times are. Just as my friend is putting in a little extra to be closer to her community right now, I've been putting into my home community, I guess. It's funny, my therapist was like kind of comparing me to a homesteader the other day, and I was like, but not the kind, okay? Not the kind that are trying to like keep you barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. The kind that are going to the gym every day, taking care of the cats, feeding the birds, changing out my bird seed so that the bird seed doesn't get slimy and give the birds tongue infections, taking care of the cats, taking care of my dogs, taking care of myself, taking care of my husband, taking care of my mom, taking care of my grandma. And that's kind of it right now, girls. Like, my circle is very, very small right now. And of course, I'm always a phone call or text away or FaceTime away to any of my friends. But my inner circle is very small right now. I'm even learning to put myself in a circle within my inner circle so that I know that at my core, it is just me. It's not me and my husband. It's not me and my mom against the world. It's not me and my bestie against the world. It's me. And then I have my inner circle where I look around and I go, oh my gosh, it's not just me. It's me and my husband and my mom and my grandma and my besties. And then I look even further and I'm like, oh my God, it's not even just us. And you look out even further and it's like, oh my God, it's my city, it's my state, it's my country, it's my world, it's my universe. And it's unfortunate that it wasn't until I ended connections that I had in my community before I realized that I'm supposed to be in a circle by myself and not surrounded by people and trying to live life with the people who are supposed to be in their own circle. The ending of these 3 friendships taught me expectations that I had of friends. If one thing there's that I've learned from any of these friendships, it is that I have no right to expect people to change, nor should I expect that people changing is a good thing, because I only ever know people in their now. I used to think that inner circle people can treat you however they want. I now believe that how you treat me will determine if I put you in inner circle, inner outer, or outer circle. I used to think that inner circle people can tell me whatever they want. I now believe that I am willing to listen to people and also let them know when I am feeling emotionally involved, and I've set the boundary for myself that I don't get emotionally involved in friends' lives anymore. I can be emotional toward them. I can be emotional with them. I don't get involved as deeply as I once did anymore. The more that I sat by myself and the more that I realized, like, I'm not getting the reflection that I'm looking for from these individuals, I knew that it was time to go. And as I reflected on, well, this is what I wasn't seeing, I started to think about, well, what do I want to see? Beyond what do I want to see in other people, I moved to, and how do I see this in my immediate home? How do I take care of all of the relationships that I am already deeply committed to, so that all of the things that maybe I didn't like about the friendships that I ended, how am I showing up better for the people that I am in committed community with? How am I taking the ending of those friendships, using them as a lesson, and then showing up a little bit better for the community that I do have, rather than isolating or wandering? How do I stay rooted in the community that I still have? How do I stay still long enough to build up resources and build up energy so that I can show up a little bit better for the community that I am still involved with? Not just because times are particularly hard right now, but also so that the ending of the friendship was never in vain. I say that it's all love and that the friendship ended with love, and that I carry no malice toward these individuals. And so I think in order to do that, it's my job to move forward, to thank these individuals for the lessons that they've taught me, for the values that they're helping me decipher and determine for myself, instead of allowing the ending of these friendships to force me into an ego-driven isolation. Solitude for me, aloneness for me, has been an opportunity to realize that I get to tell people who I am based off the values and the principles that I create for myself and I show up for toward my community. I don't have to allow friends to determine who I am anymore. I think some of that comes with just no longer being a college grad and I think in college you live amongst your peers quite literally. It's very hard to not become your friends. I'm not a college student anymore, and I haven't been a college student in a hot minute. But I had college friends. And I'm not a college student anymore. I'm learning a little bit right now about defining myself and self-identity, and how who I say I am is supposed to really be who I am. And so how my words have to be backed up with action. And so, as someone who says, I am all about love, it's always love, it's never any judgment, it's just observation and love, I choose to move forward with that sentiment by, rather than resenting old friends, knocking on old friends, ruminating against old friends, I've been seeking the lessons in the ending of these relationships. I've been deciding what that actually meant of me, for me. I developed on who I am based on those instances, and I'm moving forward with a sense of self-identity and direction that allows people who are in my community to know who they're in community with. No longer am I trying to reflect other people. I'm trying to reflect myself within other people. And I think the three individuals in my life who forced me to sit on this and ground myself a little bit in the micro in a way that I think the macro was keeping me a little spacey, a little head in the clouds. So I hope this didn't feel too woo-woo. Oh, it's so sweet. We think this is a good stopping place. I know this one was maybe a little bit more woo-woo. I'm not even gonna lie. I smoked a bowl before I sat down, girls. This needed to get done, okay? I didn't feel very busy yesterday, so I'm on a mission to feel busy today. So we are recording, editing, and scheduling all of this in one day in the name of feeling busy. And that's on unemployed life. A problem that I literally hope I don't have to stop solving. I don't want to go to work, Lord. Please, God. Thanks so much for listening. If you made it this far, go ahead and leave me a sparkle emoji. Let me know you're one of the sparkle baddies. Share the energy, spread the word. And while you're in the comment section, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will reflect in the next one.